Welcome, everybody, to the City of Farmers Branch City Council meeting for Tuesday, September 17th. Our first order of business will be our invocation and pledge, which will be led by Councilman Baird this evening.
Please pray with me. Oh God, we're thankful for this time tonight that we can gather, and we're thankful for the freedoms we have that allow us to gather. Please give us wisdom as we make decisions for our city. Thank you for the residents and the businesses that make our city government possible. And please bless all of us, including all those who work for the city and all those who serve on boards and on this council. We pray all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. There we go. All right. Next up is our ceremonial item for this evening, which is to recognize First Baptist Church, Farmers Branch, for their assistance to the senior patrons of the Branch Connection by providing program space for the summer activities. So I'm going to read a little background and discussion, or do you want to do the discussion part?
No, just read that. I think we're good.
Okay. So due to the current construction that's going on over at the Branch Connection and Summer Funshine Camp being held at the Farmers Branch Community Recreation Center, activities were moved to First Baptist Church of Farmers Branch for the summer months. Staff wishes to thank Pastor Jordan Whittington and his staff and their congregation for their use of their church facilities during this past summer. So, again, the city would like to express our deepest gratitude for the generous hospitality and unwavering support that you extended the Branch Connection this past summer. Your decision to open your doors and allow us to operate our programs within your church was a blessing to our organization and a testament to your commitment to serving our community. The warmth and welcome we received from your congregation made our time at your church truly special. Our members felt a strong sense of belonging, so much so they were reluctant to leave. The Cooking Club was overjoyed when you graciously granted them an extended stay, understanding that they could not continue their vital work without access to a kitchen. This act of kindness speaks volumes about your understanding and compassion to serving our community. During Vacation Bible School, when we were unable to hold our regular meetings at the church, your willingness to involve one of our members in the kitchen provided her with purpose and a renewed sense of community. Your actions have had a lasting impact on her life, giving her a desire to remain connected with those around her. Furthermore, we want to acknowledge and commend your church's ongoing work for the community, providing a weekly food bank and clothing for those in need. Your dedication to serving others is an inspiration to us all, and your church is a cornerstone of support and hope for so many in the Farmers Branch community. Once again, thank you for your incredible generosity and embodying the spirit of service in all that you do. We are profoundly grateful for our partnership with First Baptist Church of Farmers Branch and look forward to continuing to serve our community together. So I don't know who would like to go first. Jordan? Okay.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stone. I work at the Branch Connection. I'm the assistant manager there. And Jordan and his congregation was so welcoming to us and made us feel right at home. So we're very, very thankful to have a place to go such as that during the summer.
Sure, I can say, I'm a preacher, right? I'm supposed to say
Well,
things.
it's not an hour.
Yeah, okay. 30 minutes though, right? Yeah, you said not, no. We want to be a church that is opening our doors to the community. And through a meeting with Ben a couple months back and then going to Robert's office, it just all kind of began to fall into place. And whether it's the Firehouse Theater that's been in our property or a CPR class that meets there regularly or ham radio people, we want to open our doors however we can serve the community. And we're trying to show that. We want to be good neighbors, helping to improve the life of every resident, just as the video said. And so thanks for giving us the opportunity, trusting us with that, and we look forward to seeing you guys all around town.
We just want to appreciate Jordan and all his staff, and I'll just kind of reiterate what Jennifer said. It was everything kind of aligned, the stars aligned, and it was a good opportunity for not only our staff but for the patrons of the Branch Connection, and I think they enjoyed their time there, and we just appreciate everything you've done for us. All right.
So, Jordan, we have this little plaque here, and it's actually from the Branch Connection, and it commemorates community support for First Baptist Church of Farmers Branch for the summer of 2024. We'd like you to have that.
Thank you.
And thank you again for all that you
Yeah, absolutely.
and your church has done for our
Absolutely.
community.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, Jared. Here.
Bring it out here. Let's get a picture. And next up are items of community interest.
Thank you, Mayor. So the Animal Services Department is offering Farmers Branch residents a free vaccine clinic this Saturday, September 21st, from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at City Hall. Vaccine and microchipping services will be available for those that come. Now, to keep everything running smoothly, make sure all of your dogs are leashed and cats are in carriers during the duration of the event. Join the Farmers Branch Police Department for their Coffee with a Cop event on Saturday, September 28th from 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. at the Aussie Grind Provisions. Come enjoy some great coffee, treats, and chats with your favorite FBPD officers. Also on that Saturday, after you get your coffee, stop by Fire Station 3 for a free, family-friendly open house and safety fair from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on that same Saturday, the 28th. All are welcome to enjoy fun events and that focus on fire protection and safety with equipment demonstrations and displays. Even the little ones will be able to get involved as the Branch Brigade clowns make fire safety fun and exciting. You won't want to miss it. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, October 1st for National Night Out. Don't miss the opportunity to come together for a night of community and fun with your neighbors in the Farmers Branch Police Department. Are you ready to host or have any questions? Call 972-919-9304. Again, that's 972-919-9304 for more details. And then finally, as always, you can sign up for City e-News at farmersbranchtx.gov. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, I didn't see him there. So I just want to let everybody know Councilman Roman is remote tonight. Next up are citizen comments, and I will remind everybody there's a 3-minute time limit for each citizen to speak. Please refrain from any disparaging or inflammatory remarks. They will not be tolerated, especially if directed at any board or commission, city council, or city staff. So our first speaker, and when you do come up, when I call your name, come up, please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes. When the light on the podium turns red, you need to stop. First speaker is Norma Aguilar. And let me just say before you speak, we do have a proclamation scheduled at the next council meeting, so that's been in the works for some time. We're doing that with our state representative, Rafael Anchia, and he will also be here to help present that night.
Very well. That's exactly what I was going to speak about. My name is Norma Aguilar. I live at 12706 Epsfield Road, Farmers Branch. And as you might remember, I was here on August the 20th, 2024. I appeared before you during the citizen comment section of the City Council to discuss inclusivity and proclamations in Farmers Branch. I specifically spoke about the request that I and other citizens made for Mayor Lynn to issue a proclamation recognizing September 15 to October 15 as National Hispanic Heritage Month in Farmers Branch. 2 days later, the mayor did send me an email notifying me that he planned to issue a joint proclamation with our state rep, Anchia, who would join him at today's meeting. Early last week, I reviewed the agenda for today's meeting that was posted on the Farmers Branch website and did not see the item listed. I have since been informed by State Rep. Rafael Anchia's office that the date had changed and this proclamation will now be issued at the October 8th meeting. And Mayor Lynn, I want to thank you for agreeing to issue that important proclamation. Since October 8th is on the last week of the September 15 to October 15 timeframe of Hispanic Heritage Month, I wanted to come forward today and notify everybody interested of the change in dates. I look forward to returning on October the 8th at 6 p.m. to attend the City Council meeting to witness the issuance of this proclamation. My husband and I have buttons commemorating Hispanic Heritage Month for anybody who wants one, since we expected it to be done today. And that is it. Just viva la herencia hispana en la ciudad de Farmers Branch. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will add that there was never a doubt about that. It just took the representative longer because it had to be approved by the state legislature, and that process took longer than I think he was expecting. So it's going to be done at the next meeting, so not to worry.
Okay.
We're good. Next up is Michelle Delatorre. Next up is Jason Davila.
Good evening. Jason Davila, 2935 Marsan Lane, Farmers Branch, Texas, 75234. Thank you, Mayor Lynn, council members, and Mr. City Manager. Here to read a statement on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Firehouse Theater. The Firehouse Theater is thankful for the support over the past 12 years from various councils and the citizens of Farmers Branch. We appreciate, truly, the use of historic Fire Station Number 1 to present imaginative live performances and training through engaging artistic expression, and we look forward to continue bringing live performances and education initiatives to audiences that come from all over North Texas and the United States. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Next up is our consent agenda. I will entertain motion if somebody would like to make one.
Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly.
I'll have to raise my hand.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay. Next up is K1, public hearing. Conduct public hearing and consider adopting a property tax rate of 0.604075 cents and take appropriate action.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tammy Zimmerman, Director of Finance, Fleet and Facilities. This evening is in regards to passing our property tax rate. In compliance with state law, this is the step in holding a public hearing, which was published in the Dallas Morning News on August 28th. And it is the maximum tax rate that we're allowed without going to the vote of the people. So that has been published in the newspaper. That's not what is in our proposed budget. The proposed tax rate in our budget is 0.5435. It is much lower than the maximum that we are allowed. So under Senate Bill 2, you have two components to your tax rate. There's the M&O rate and the INS rate. And under Senate Bill 2, you are capped on growth for your M&O rate, your maintenance and operations of 3.5% growth. So to show you where we're at, as far as our proposed tax rate that's in the budget that will be coming in a few minutes here on our agenda, our proposed tax rate is 0.5435, and that is below the no new revenue rate. So our no new revenue rate is 0.548515. So part of the process, and we will open the public hearing, close it after citizen comments, and then we have final budget approval, ratifying any kind of revenue that's in that budget, and then we have our property tax rate adoption. So we have a few steps to do this evening. And I have an updated sheet with our 2024 tax rate. You can see that Farmers Branch, with our proposed tax rate of 0.5435, we are high up on the list. And that list is meaning the lowest amount in our homestead when you get your property tax bill. So we've talked before in comparing apples to apples. Some cities may have a lower homestead exemption or a lower senior and disabled exemption, and we've done the calculations so we can show that comparative, and we are right in line with several cities. There's other cities that have a strong economic component of sales tax, with your Grapevine, Frisco, Allen. But we are at a very good comparable rate for a city of our size. Is there any questions?
Council, does anybody have any questions for Ms. Zimmerman? No? Councilman Roman? Thank you. This is a public hearing. I do not have anybody signed up to speak. Last chance. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mayor, I'll motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of closing the public hearing? Motion passes unanimously. Public hearing is closed. Any further discussion on this item, council?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Next up are our regular agenda items. First up is item L1. Consider approving Resolution 2024-152, authorizing the city manager to execute a first amended and restated facility use agreement with the Farmers Branch Community Theater, Inc. for the utilization of the facility located at 2535 Valley View Lane. Take appropriate action.
All right, Mayor and Council, Jennifer Rainey, Assistant to the City Manager. So we've presented about this quite a few times, so I won't belabor the timeline. Did want to update you all. I believe you all have the packet agreement or the facility use agreement in your packet. There was one slight modification that happened after that packet was posted, so just a small change to section 3.5C. So I wanted you to be aware of that. It's just a slight wording change by the city as well as some responsibility on 3.5C3. Other than that, I would like to express gratitude to Firehouse Theater and our city manager for helping take this to the finish line. And we'll get back to our possible council actions. You can either move to approve the resolution as is, move to approve that resolution with modifications, or move to table the issue for further study. Take no action.
Just to be clear, for the motion tonight, with the contract that's been already signed by the Firehouse Theater, it would need to be with modifications that were sent out yesterday. So if you do motion to approve, it would need to be with modifications.
Okay. Council, any comments, questions, comments, discussion? Yes, Councilman Neal.
Just regarding the sort of last-minute changes there, has that been put forth to the Firehouse Theater, and are they fully on board and accepting of those changes, those minor changes, as you so to speak? Are they aware?
Yes, those were proposed by them.
Okay. That's all I have.
Councilman Jackson.
Mayor, I'd just like to say to the Firehouse Theater, thank you for your cooperation, patience, persistence. Firehouse Theater is a very valuable asset in our city, and I know that there's been a lot of back and forth and discussion, some confusion, but I don't want it to go without being said that it is a very important piece of the fabric of Farmers Branch, and we're very glad to arrive at this result tonight. Thank you, guys.
Councilman Roman.
Okay, I'm on. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to echo Councilman Jackson's comments as well. Just Firehouse Theater, thank you for collaborating with us and being patient throughout this process. It seems like we started it long ago, and I think we did or late spring. So it's been a while, but I'm glad that we have arrived at an agreement that is amendable and satisfactory to both parties. So appreciate the collaboration and look forward to the partnership moving forward.
Okay.
That's it.
Go ahead. Okay.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 2024-152 with modifications. I'll second.
Very good. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote accordingly. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, Firehouse Theater. Next up is item L2. Consider adopting ordinance number 3880, approving and adopting a budget and strategic plan for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2024 and ending September 30th, 2025, providing that expenditures for said fiscal year shall be made in accordance with such budget, appropriating and setting aside the necessary funds out of the general fund, the general and other revenues for the maintenance and operation of various departments and for various activities and improvements of the city, appropriating the various amounts required for such budget, amending the 2023-2024 adopted budget, and take appropriate action.
Thank you. Tammy Zerman, Director of Finance, Fleet and Facilities. So step 2 in this process this evening, as part of the mechanics for adopting the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget, it also includes the amended fiscal year 23-24 budget. So staff, as we got to September, we reviewed the actual results. So now that we're 11 months in, we can shore up our accounts. And any overages were brought to the council during the special session that we had. And we have made those updates, and it was all summarized in a memorandum that was included with the packets. So what I have on the presentation was we had this particular trifold at the budget town hall, and we've gone through and adjusted for the special called meeting that we had for some changes that were put back in. So we will have this out, and again, this has been updated with all the changes that the council has made. And it will be made available on our website. All of our information is on our transparency page on the city's website as far as our tax rates, our budgets, our financials. We will have this as well. So part of this process is, again, to approve the proposed budget and the amended fiscal year 23-24 budget. The proposed budget has the tax rate of 0.5435, and that has been updated in this brochure as well. And are there any questions?
Very good, thank you. Council, any questions? Start with Councilman Roman.
No questions.
Councilman Baird? Councilman Reed? Councilman Neal? Councilman Jackson? That's the first time. We've had a lot of discussion about the budget, so glad we're finally to decision-making time. This item is marked for action. I will entertain motion.
Mayor, I'll move to approve ordinance number 3880 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. The motion and second. This will be a roll call vote, so when I call your name, please indicate yes or no. Councilman Roman?
Yes.
Councilman Baird?
No.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Neal?
Yes.
Very good. Motion passes 4-1. Thank you very much. Next up is item L3, consider approving resolution 2024-148, ratifying the property tax revenue increase reflected in the fiscal year 2024-25 budget, and take appropriate action.
Mayor and council, again, this is to now ratify the property tax revenue that you just approved in the budget. And there is not an increase with this property tax rate that we have adopted in the budget. Are there any questions?
Council, any questions? Councilman Roman?
No.
Okay. Councilman Neal?
I'm sorry, Tammy, could you just help me or the residents understand what is meant here? Ratifying the property tax revenue increase? And I just understood that you said it's not a revenue increase, but a property tax, just so we're not too confused.
Correct. We have to put this in the ordinance as far as when we're approving the tax rate in the budget. So in the past, the calculations have shown an increase. So we are adopting a budget that is below the no new tax revenue rate. So it's technically not an increase in revenue, but we do still have to ratify this revenue. That makes sense.
That's all. Thank you, Tammy.
Anybody else? Councilman Reed? Okay. This item is marked for action, so I will entertain motion.
Mayor, I'll move to approve resolution number 2024-148 as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have motion and second. Again, this is a roll call vote. If you would please answer by saying yes or no. Councilman Roman?
Yes.
Councilman Baird?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Neal?
Yes.
Very good. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next up is item L4. Consider adopting ordinance number 3881, accepting the tax year 2024 certification of appraisal roll in accordance with Section 26.04B of the State Property Tax Code, and to levy and adopt the tax rate for fiscal year 2024-25, tax year 2024, in accordance with Section 26.05B, and take appropriate action.
Okay. So final one. This is now approving our tax rate and accepting the certification which was provided in your packets from Dallas County. So our proposed tax rate that we're asking to adopt is 0.5435. And again, that's broken into two components. Our M&O rate, maintenance and operation, which is 0.489265. And our INS, or our interest in sinking rate, is 0.054235. Together, that creates our total tax rate. Any questions?
Council, any questions? Councilman Roman?
Yeah, Tammy, will you remind me what the total reduction is in cents for this year compared to last?
So it is a reduction of 0.0255.
Alrighty. Well, I just wanted to say to all of our staff, Ben, Jawaria, and those other staff members in the city manager's office, Tammy, as well as you and the rest of your team, and the rest of the staff members across the board who worked very diligently night and day. And I literally mean night, because I've driven by sometimes and have seen vehicles here between February to now, and I'm sure much of it has been due to the budget, and much of the vehicles lingering in the parking lot late at night have increased as we've gotten closer to today. So I wanted to thank you for that, because I think as a result of Ben's team, as well as your team, the rest of the staff, our council members, and of course the public's input with our budget town hall and their involvement, we've been able to achieve, I think, an outcome that satisfies everyone, or at least the majority. And after all of that work, we now have a reduction of 0.0255, which goes on record to be the largest tax reduction in 41 years. And not only that, but we were able to achieve an outcome where our tax rate is below the no new revenue rate. And for those who are not sure what the no new revenue rate is, it means that we're able to operate the city with the same amount of revenue that we've taken in last year, which I think is a commendable accomplishment. And I think, just as I think about how we were able to achieve that, and Tammy, you can attest to the fact that we spent 3 hours and 45 minutes, you and I and Ben, going line by line through the budget, so that I made sure that I understood exactly where the cuts were being made and what was going on in our budget. And if I can take 10,000 steps back and look at it at a very high level, I can say that I saw that there was an enhancement of efficiencies, the use of our tax dollars. There was consolidation of positions. There was downgrading of positions that were more appropriately aligned with the needs of that department or team. And I saw a streamlining of operations and organizational structure. And let me just say that I fully recognize that since I watched council meetings prior to being on city council, And even while I have been on city council, I know without a doubt that this has been one of the toughest budgets that I've seen and experienced. And I sincerely want to thank you guys for all of the work that you've put in to get to this point. And Tammy, you have had to be the one to present these budgets and lead the team. And so for that, I want to thank you specifically for always being very mindful, very considerate, very hardworking, and very respectful. And of course, very demure. So please stay demure. That's it.
Thank you very much. Councilman Baird? Councilman Reed? Councilman Jackson? Councilman Neal? Go ahead, Councilman Jackson.
So ditto everything that Councilman Roman said. I know it's a long, hard road. We do it every year. You've done it with utmost professionalism, and I have a lot of respect for you and for your team. You know, in times of rising costs, for us to come up with a budget that makes strategic reductions in places and has minimal impact on amenities, and there are still ongoing discussions about preserving some amenities and improvement. We're still in a city that is progressing and growing and thriving. And, you know, to have a tax rate reduction amidst all of that is, it was a pretty big feat. So again, thank you for all your work, the team, because I know it takes a village.
Tammy, I just want to say to you and your staff, I appreciate all the work that you all have done on this. This has been a long process. We started in June, and so it's taken us months to get here. Just for the residents that may be watching at home, keep in mind, 1 cent to the city represents about $992,000. So, you know, here we are, we're lowering 2.5 cents the tax rate. Please note that the city staff and your city council are being good, responsible stewards of your tax dollars. And I think I can assure you that every expense was questioned when the staff was presenting the budget to the council. You know, I have the luxury of being able to sit back. I don't set the budget. I don't vote on the budget, but I sit back and watch and see what's going on. I'm an active participant, and it took us a long time to get here. There was a lot of citizen input, as there should be, and I would encourage those who have questions about the budget. It is posted online, so they can go in and review it any time that they would like. If you have insomnia and can't sleep, pull up the city budget. You'll probably fall asleep and thank me later. But no, seriously, the document is there, and if you have questions, feel free to ask your council representative or call me, and we will try to help you through that. So again, thank you all. This item is marked for action. So,
Mayor, in adopting the proposed budget rate of 0.5435, I move to approve the property tax rate of 0.5435 and to modify ordinance 3881 accordingly.
do you need to read the rest of it?
That was correct. Just
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Again, this is a roll call vote. If you would, please indicate your vote by answering yes or no. Councilman Roman?
Yes.
Councilman Baird?
Yes.
Councilman Reed?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Neal?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you, all
Thank you.
departments.
Next up is item L5, consider approving Resolution 2024-166, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Stearns, Conrad, and Schmidt Consulting Engineers. Excuse me. DBA SCS Field Services for the construction of the Phase G landfill gas collection system expansion at Camelot Landfill in the amount of $1,123,150 and take appropriate action.
Mayor, council members, good evening. Ray Silvarez, Director of Public Works. I have with me today Solid Waste Superintendent Mike Rivera, who's going to be presenting on this, and we also have Deputy Director of Public Works Shane Davis here to provide subject matter expert advice here should it be needed.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Rivera. I'm the Solid Waste Manager under Public Works for Solid Waste. And I'll be giving a short presentation tonight on Phase G, the landfill gas collection system expansion at Camelot Landfill. So to give you a little background on Camelot Landfill, it was opened in 1980. It's for about 460 acres in size, of which 237 acres is set aside and permitted for landfill development. It is designated as a Type 1 municipal solid waste landfill, and we are the owner and permit holder. So under the permit, under TCEQ, that's 1312B, and it was last amended approved in 2017. So the disposal capacity, it's a pretty big landfill. It's 53.2 million cubic yards of size, so that's pretty significant. For those that like tons, it's about converts over to 58.5 million tons of capacity. So what that means is in life left, we have about 23 to 25 years of landfill life left at Camelot Landfill, and it's presently operated by the Camelot Landfill TXLP, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Republic Services. So some natural or landfill gas basics. It's just a natural byproduct or digestion, decomposition of organic material. And what that produces is carbon dioxide and methane. Now which are odorless gases. Now there's a small percentage, 1 to 2%, which we call in the industry non-methane organic compounds, and that is responsible for the landfill gas odor at all landfills. So methane is combustible, and it's a really strong greenhouse gas. So based on NSPS, or the New Source Performance Standards, and it's really important here that all landfill owners must install landfill gas control systems when either the NMOC is exceeded, and that's only 34 metric tons, or the permit disposal capacity exceeds the regulatory design. So it's a really small landfill, and that limit is 2.75 million tons. So we're at 58.5 million tons, so we are in NSPS. So what does that mean? That means a landfill gas system must be expanded or installed where they're in the areas of a landfill that are older than 5 years and have no active landfill gas collection system. So with that, to give you, it's not a really good picture, but to give you an idea of what Camelot Landfill is and where the location of Phase G is, just consider the landfill in the shape of an L presently. We'll be installing these wells, Phase G, in the northwest corner of the landfill. There'll be approximately 34 wells being drilled and constructed there. It'll also be the last area of the landfill that doesn't have an active landfill gas collection system. So it will fulfill the NSPS requirements, which is really good for the city and for the landfill operation. So tonight, we'd like the council to consider approving the resolution 2024-155, which authorizes the city manager to execute a contract with SCS Field Services. Again, Camelot Landfill is subjected to the NSPS regulations to install a landfill gas collection system in any area of the landfill that's had waste buried for 5 years and doesn't have active landfill gas collection. So during the bidding process, we received 2 bids, which were opened in August. SCS Field Services was the lowest qualified bidder at that $1.123 million. Now, there were funds available in this year's fiscal budget, but you see a shortfall here. Those shortfall monies will come from the landfill closure, post-closure fund, and that'll be adjusted at the end of the fiscal year. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Very good. Thank you so much. Council, any questions on this item? We here? Councilman Neal.
Yeah, this, the gases, are we capturing this gas or burning it, or what's the disposition?
It's a combination of both. We have renewable energy out there, so there's 2 engines that convert that landfill gas into renewable energy or electricity, and then we have an excess, so that is actually flared off or burned.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need.
Councilman Jackson? Councilman Roman?
I'm good, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. This item is marked for action.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 20. Okay, I do want to clarify just one quick thing. So it says resolution number 2024-166, but then under possible council actions, it listed as 2024-155. So I just want to make sure we know which number we're supposed to be referencing.
We're checking that right now. Yeah. Should be 166. 2024-166.
Okay, so I move to approve resolution number 2024-166 as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have motion and second. If you would, please indicate your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is item L6, consider approving resolution 2024-066, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Midwest Wrecking for the asbestos abatement and demolition of city-owned property at 2427 Carrick Street in the amount of $275,000 and take appropriate action.
Perla Tavera, Deputy Director of Economic Development, Tourism, and Planning. I'm here to present this item, Resolution 2024-066. This is the Carrick Building right adjacent to the Dallas Multi-Sports Center that is currently being in construction with substantial completion date of December 2024. We issued an RFP back in May 3rd with a pre-bid walkthrough May 7th. We also had to update the RFP to include asbestos remediation as there was asbestos found. We did another pre-bid walkthrough May 31st. A total of 4 bids were there. One was rejected due to the fact that they did not show up for the mandatory pre-bid walkthrough. Bids range from $275 to $417. We did pick the bid that was a little bit slightly higher, just the fact that we ended up contacting some of the other individuals prior business works. And so if you have any questions, I am here. Oh, sorry, I do want to note that we are going to ask for reimbursement on this. That building on the Carrick building is going to be that Presidium apartment complex, and we are asking for a reimbursement of all the asbestos removal and demolition.
Very good. Very good, thank you. Council, are there any questions? Councilman Rowan?
Yeah, so when you say that we're going to be asking for reimbursement, does that mean that we're unsure as to whether they will grant the reimbursement?
I've spoken with them and they have agreed that they will reimburse. I've shared all the bids and they've been through the entire process with me.
Okay.
They have agreed to it.
Was that a verbal agreement or was that in writing?
I have that in an email. So the contract has not been signed by either the city or them. So we will make sure that they sign it prior to their agreement with the Total Presidium multifamily complex.
Okay. That's it for me.
Thank you. Questions? No further questions? Okay, this item is marked for action also.
Mayor, I move that we approve Resolution 2024-066 as presented.
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is item L7, consider approving resolution 2024-160, authorizing the city manager to execute a professional services agreement with Teague, Knoll, and Perkins Incorporated for the design of the storm sewer replacement project along Valley View Lane from Nestle Drive to Rawhide Creek Outfall in the amount of $401,000 and take appropriate action.
Yes, Mayor, council members, good evening. Ray Silveras, Director of Public Works. Here to bring before you the consideration of the professional service agreement with Teague, Knoll, and Perkins. Let me take you through a little overview of it. Teague, Knoll, and Perkins has been tasked with this design for the replacement or the upgrade of the 60-inch storm sewer. It's about 2,000 linear feet from Nestle, going down east towards Valley View, and then heading south towards the Rawhide Outfall. This project is eligible for DART ILA reimbursement. This project, when we first brought it, or when we were putting it in design, we weren't aware of the DART funding that's available. And so we have this project plus another project for the Denton Road that's going to be utilizing DART funding as well. And on this project, we're going to be taking 60% to pay for the construction, 40% will come out of our stormwater CIP, and the design fee for this that's here before you with Teague, Knoll, Perkins, $401,000, and staff recommends approval. Let me show you real quick those limits that I talked about, starting from Nestle, heading west on Valley View and down to the Rawhide Creek Outfall. Are there any questions?
The council, any questions? Councilman Roman?
Ray, thank you for the presentation. I just had a quick question. What is the, as we go through this project, what does the public outreach look like to make sure that people are aware of the construction that's going on and how that might impact the residents?
Absolutely. As we do with all construction projects, we do notify the public. This is just for the design, and as we start developing design, going from scratch all the way to the final plans, we will start outreaching and putting notifications out there to the public, letting them know that this project and any direct impacts, our staff will kind of go in and speak with them on a one-on-one and let them know what's going to happen and who they should call should they experience any issues during the construction phase of it. We hope this is going to be a fast-track project. This will come before you again in February so that we can continue with the timeline of DART has been set before us so that we can utilize all the funding that's available to us.
Okay, thank you very much. That's it.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Any, the dais? Councilman Jackson?
Ray, thank you. Just a quick question. That construction is going to run alongside the DART rail going south.
Correct. Once
Right.
it comes down south, it will go in between, let me go back there. Yes, it'll be right there on the east side of the DART rail going down. As you can see there, highlighted to the
Okay.
outfall.
So that's between the tracks and Mustang Station, and there are residences there, the apartments. No interruption to DART rail service?
Correct. We will definitely work with them as part of this design process, but yes, it would be to minimize, just as we're doing Denton Drive as well.
Yeah. There's not a lot of space between the tracks and people's front doors over there, right? So I'm assuming there's going to be a pretty substantial amount of accommodation for folks that are living right there to try to keep that construction debris and all that activity isolated from their doorsteps.
Absolutely. We will be to not disturb them as they're already being impacted directly. Will be to offset and minimize the material storage on that location, maybe to another place just south or east of there, west of there, and to minimize that interruption to their daily lives as best as we
Yeah.
can.
Okay. That's going to be a pain for a while, I imagine.
It will be. Fortunately, it is the storm sewer project, so it's a little bit more efficient as far as installation as opposed to the road construction. But
Sure.
it should be a little bit faster.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Neal.
Real quick, approximately when do you think this project's going to begin and how long the duration might be to completion?
So we're hoping to bring this project to you to be keeping the timeline that DART has set for us to expend these funds that they have available for us. We have to have it ready, council approved by February of 2025, and with all the substantial completed by April of 2026. So it's going to be a quick design and then get it out to construction as quick as possible to maximize the money that's out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Again, this item is marked for action.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 2024-160.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. That is all I have on regular agenda. We are going to be going back into executive session in a moment, but before we recess to do that, I just want to take a moment to recognize David Berman, our city attorney here. Tonight is his last meeting. His firm, Nichols Jackson, has represented the city for, I believe, about the past 15 years. And so I just want to say thank you. Even though this is his last meeting, they will still be involved for quite a while as we transition over to another firm, because we do have some active issues working that he needs to be involved with. But I'd just like to take this opportunity again to thank you for your service and all that you've done to help make Farmers Branch a better city and make sure the interest of Farmers Branch, the city itself and the residents are being protected.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. He doesn't talk much, so he doesn't know which button to push. So with that, we're going to recess, go back to executive session so we can finish up. And then after that, we will come back out here to announce any action as a result of that. So, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. We have some action to take care of as a result of executive session.
Mayor, I move to approve proceeding with the sale of the city-owned real property located at 1349 and 1399 Valley View Lane and authorizing the city manager or his designee to negotiate and execute a purchase and sale agreement conditioned upon final approval by the city council for the sale of said property and being further subject to the following conditions to closing. 1, approval of a rezoning application by the city council. 2, restrictions on residential traffic. And 3, protections for the city related to any landfill-related issue.
Thank you very much.
I will second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would indicate your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Mayor, I also move to approve the adoption of an ordinance of Shannon Willis as interim presiding judge and Bruce Woody as interim alternate judge at the existing rates of compensation and to not reappoint presiding judge Terry Carnes.
Thank you.
I will second.
Very good. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. If you would, please indicate. Motion passes. Thank you all very much. That concludes our business for this evening, and we will adjourn our meeting at 8:21. Thank you very much.